right, ladies and gentlemen, be safe out there. The winds are picking up more. We got more snow coming in. RC, yeah, this is the dentist one. They found a whole bunch of weapons inside his penthouse, and one of them were connected to the murders. And we might have other murder, until they run everything through the whole system. There's a good chance maybe he's killed before, maybe. So yeah, it's getting windy and cold out there, folks. I think they're saying here in a couple days lows, uh, 10 below zero, maybe 20 below zero with the winds. We are waiting for them to come out. I think this was just released a little while ago. Do you see the UAD? Yeah, I seen the new plugin that they're giving for free. But the only thing is I'd have to get it VST because my Pro Tools Express only plays RTAS and something else. I don't know. Hold on. All right, here we go.
Interrupting Price is Right now. We'll get you right back to the game. There's an update on a major case in Columbus. Columbus Division of Police providing an update. Elaine Bryant is at the podium.
About it. So just wanted to go over a little bit of the timeline. On December 30th, 2025, at approximately 10:04 a.m., Columbus Police Patrol officers were dispatched to the 1400 block of North 4th Street on a well-being check. Officers arrived at scene and located the two adult victims suffering from apparent gunshot wounds. We now know that they were identified as Mr. Spencer TEPE and Mrs. Monique TEPE. Their two small children were also found in the residence physically unharmed. On January 10th, 2026, detectives filed warrants charging Michael D. McKee, 39, with 2 counts of murder in the deaths of Spencer and Monique TEPE. Mr. McKee was arrested in Rockford, Illinois without incident. He's currently incarcerated in the Winnebago County Jail and awaiting extradition to Columbus. We believe at this point, we have the person responsible for the murders of Monique and Spencer TEPE in custody, and that person is Michael McKee. This is still an active and ongoing investigation. Detectives are still going through evidence, tips, and videos. We can't speak to all the specific details related to this case, so we don't want to jeopardize the ultimate goal of conviction. But what we can say, this was a targeted attack. This was a domestic violence related attack. As we know, McKee is the ex-husband of Monique TEPE. We can say that we have the suspect's vehicle on neighborhood video surveillance arriving just before the murders and leaving shortly after. Detectives were able to link this vehicle to McKee. The vehicle was located in Rockford, Illinois, and evidence was found that showed McKee in possession of the vehicle before and after the homicides. We can also say that multiple weapons were taken from the property of McKee, and there is a preliminary link from our NIBIN to one of the weapons that ties it to the homicides. I want to say that our detectives work around the clock to be able to solve this case. But it's equally important to know that while this is gaining national attention, we work around the clock to solve all of our homicide cases. I'd like to bring the mayor up now to have him say a few words.
Thank you, Chief.
All right, so they have multiple weapons. I heard he had a bunch of weapons. Now, whether them are connected to any other crimes, I'm not sure. We'll have to wait on that. They do have video of the guy. My question is the police would have to go back so far. On camera, they had a police camera right across the street. If that vehicle is seen months, 6 months, a year, in that area. Of course, phone data, which we'll have to wait. That'll take time. Did he have a burner phone? All good questions and theories. He might have. Was he stalking them? I don't know. We got to get his data off his phone. That would show he's been following them or whatever. Or if we have video of his car or him, either him or car, because now they have a face they could put in face recognition into the computer and it pop on the police computer. Oh, boom, boom, boom. Here he is. Right. A year before the murders, boom, boom. Here he is. And so all that'll come into play. Let's listen to the mayor talk. And I think Ohio is the state that just dumped a bunch of money into some computer system where it's all connected. All the cameras, they can see crimes in real time. Drones, everything is connected to this main hub. And everything branches out where they can talk to fire, police. But if you got people in there that make mistakes, or police officers, fire, whatever, EMT, yeah, they can show up at the wrong house, which we've seen in this case.
And thank you all for joining us this morning. I want to thank Chief Bryant, the women and men
Hello,
of the
Miss
homicide
ATS News.
division who have done an incredible job on this case and so many other cases, 100 cases solved in 2025 because of their tireless work and professionalism and tips and information from the community that helped us achieve such incredible solve rates. I want to thank also members of the press for sharing timely information, including the video footage of the person of interest that we know now is Mr. McKee. Members of the community for supporting CPD's investigation and for continuing to pray and support the TEPE family, particularly these little children. Just want to take a moment to express gratitude, grief, and resolve, not only for myself, but for the entire Columbus community. Grateful to the Division of Police for their professionalism and persistence and for their tireless work and collaboration that led to this arrest. You followed the facts and evaluated every credible lead with intentionality, integrity, and care for the victims and their families. I also want to thank members of the community who stepped forward with video footage and tips.
Okay, Tracy
Like so many
Townsend and Colin
cases
Dorsey
CPD
here.
solved in
We have been
2025.
bringing you live coverage of
The
Elaine
public
Bryan and Andrew
helped
Ginther
us
talking
work
about.
All right, real fast, I want to point out that the mayor just said he wants to thank the citizens for turning in video and other things. So they must have had plenty of evidence and footage of this guy. Yeah, wow. So, and I'm wondering, was it him on December 19th when the neighbor called police saying somebody is banging on my door real loud and she was scared? Now, was it him? Did he get the wrong address? We don't know. It's possible it's possible he went this whole time without giving a crap about anything. And then he gets sued, right? A lawsuit or something like that. He was involved in a lawsuit of malpractice where he botched an operation and they were getting ready to sue him or something like that. Take his license or not take his license, but well, that I guess that could happen if he was found guilty. But the people that he worked with within the surgeries said he was, seemed pretty normal when it came to surgeries and stuff. But he was under malpractice and being sued supposedly for that. And then on top of that, I don't know if it's true that the divorce thing was reopened or whatever. I'm not sure. But yeah, that probably could have triggered him and sent him up with
the TEPE murders.
It's a clear
We are
example of
covering
how
this because it
public
has
safety is
gained
strongest
national attention. We're
when
going to take our
police and
coverage
community
over
are
onto
working
10 TV
together.
Plus.
Right. That's free to download right now
Encouraged
in
by
your
the
TV.
cooperation
Put it on
that
there for free. But
continues
for
to
now,
grow
our Price is Right
between our
viewers will send you back
police
to regular.
incidents. I pray this collaboration will help us prevent violent crime from happening in the first place. But it's also a powerful, powerful tool for solving crime when it does occur. The tips that were submitted in this case mattered. And I'm grateful to the residents and businesses who shared information. As Chief described,
All right, so now we know businesses, citizens, everybody turned in. They probably tracked this guy from there right to his house, all on footage, all on highway cameras, interstate cameras and everything. So great job. Yeah, I would say pretty good. There's a lot of people throwing up this whole thing that how could the police gone to the wrong place when dispatch got a call from somebody and they weren't at the crime scene, they were en route, and the dispatch is showing, she says, hey, we just had someone call from there and we're on our way, and the dispatch says, are you there at the scene? And the lady says, no, I'm en route and on my way. I guess it was a worker or something like that of Dr. Spencer. And dispatch says, well, it's showing that you're not there at the residence or whatever. So if they knew that, I don't know. No, I don't. Let's continue to watch.
this was a targeted domestic violence attack that resulted in the deaths of 2 people and irreparably changed the lives of their children, families, colleagues, and friends. Our hearts remain with Spencer and Monique, their loved ones, and especially the children impacted by this unimaginable loss. As this case now moves through the criminal justice process, we'll continue to respect this investigation and allow investigators and as Chief said, we will not do or say anything that will compromise the likelihood of a conviction. One thing we can still offer this family is the best possible chance at a conviction and justice for this unspeakable crime. We could also continue to lift up this family in our thoughts and prayers. I will continue to lift up every one of the 84 families that lost a loved one due to violence in 2025. And I know the chief and the division of police will too, in their thoughts and their actions. I know this case has taken on national interest, but I want to tell each of these families, these 84 families, CPD pursues every case with the same intensity, commitment, and resolve. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, sir. We'll take any questions at this time.
Chief, can you comment on a motive in this case? I mean, why did he allegedly kill Monique and Spencer and also leave the children alive?
At this time, we cannot comment on the motive. Again, part of the investigation.
Did you find any other evidence in his home in Lincoln Park?
What I can tell you is that we did search his property and we have evidence, but I can't speak to any specific evidence.
You said there were no signs.
Can you tell us which police agency arrested him and where he was taken into custody in Rockford?
Sure. This case is a great example of partnerships. So our partners with Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, ATF, federal agents, took him into custody very close to his place of employment.
What can you tell us about McKee's whereabouts?
Boy, them ATF guys got power. They just come in and alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. Yeah, well, they got them. They got multiple weapons, and they're saying they got proof. This sounds like a job for Mr. Bob Mata, right? Now, I would say, oh, I want to thank Mr. Bob Mata and Mrs. Mata for showing my question on their channel yesterday. That's huge, right? Whenever you get coverage or your name out there on a big channel like that, and ask good questions, folks. You know, if you get up there and acting like an idiot, which I'm a pro at, your questions won't be answered or you won't be on the big screen of these big channels. But my question got out there. I asked Mrs. Mata and Mr. Mata if they believe that it was either Monique banging on the door December 19th, or if it was this guy, this surgeon, that got the houses wrong uh, and banged on the wrong door, you know, or possibly Monique was running from somebody, banged on the door, and she didn't say anything because she didn't want whoever she was running from to, you know, hear her voice or give her location away. It was either one of the two. Something was going on in that area uh, before the 30th. So, and that was my question, and they put it up on the big screen there, and I want to thank them for that. And we wish Mrs. Mata a speedy recovery. Such a great lady, and she'd have to be because he's a man child. So let's get back to I'm joking, Mr. Mata.
House between the day of the crime and the day he was picked up.
Part of the investigation, unfortunately, as we talked about, we're not able to share specifics, but what we can tell you is that we have during the time of the actual homicides.
You said there were no signs of forced entry. Are you able to say any more about how he got into the house?
Unfortunately, we're not able to talk about that at this moment.
Is there any indication he had interactions with the kids, or the kids may have seen or heard anything at this point?
We don't have that information. Again, part of the investigation, there's just certain things we can't talk about.
Neighbors had said that they had seen McKee in the neighborhood and in front of the TEPE home days before the homicide. Can you confirm that?
At this time, we're unable to talk about specific information, but again, when we get additional information, we'll be more happy to share it to the public.
I know this is ongoing investigation. I don't know if you can say this, but obviously they were divorced. Are you able to say anything about their relationship after that divorce? It was in 2017. Were they civil? I know he had a second wife as well.
Again, there is, the investigation is still ongoing. Just understand, we're still collecting information. We're still going through a lot of evidence, and there's just some things that we can't speak to right now.
Can you talk about the extradition? Will you be going to Rockford and pick him up, and when will that happen?
I'll let you speak to that.
Sure. We have policy related to extraditions. Felony warrants out of state are primarily handled by extradition companies. And so the determination of whether or not it will be detectives from Columbus or an outside entity, likely an outside entity, but the logistics are being worked out as we speak.
Any idea when that will happen?
I don't know when that will happen.
What kind of weapons did you find in his home?
We can't speak to specific weapons, but we did recover multiple weapons from the home, from his property.
How quickly was McKee a suspect? I know that family told us they pretty much assumed that it was that he was behind this crime.
What I can tell you is that every piece of evidence, every tip that we received, we immediately began to investigate it. So I can't give you a specific timeline, but any information that came in was immediately evaluated and investigated.
Are you able to say about how many tips you received? Obviously, people became really attached to this case.
Do you know specific numbers?
We don't have it an exact number of the amount of tips that came in. Because some of them were the same or similar. So it was numerous, and it was from multiple sources, which was greatly appreciated from the community, the media, the past individuals that were.
And that's the way it should be, is this city is thanking its people and other people that were out of state for helping. These were just normal citizens. Normal citizens. And that's the way it should be, a team, a whole platoon, a whole. But I congratulate them for solving it so fast. Well, that could have been us. You know, and I agree with them. The case is, it's just happened. There's probably so much more. I mean, how long are they going to investigate it? I mean, if they start investigating it, deep diving, this could take years. There might be other victims of this guy. We don't know. There could have been other botched operation. We don't know. I mean, how deep are we going to go? It's like the Kohlbergers case. Do you really want to go deep? Because we can show you there's been a problem a long time. I mean, but, you know, you got to get this thing into court. He's got to get sentenced. You got to get lawyers. You got to get, you know, is it going to court? I would say so, unless he cuts a deal or something and pleads guilty. Or insanity. Maybe he snapped. He's being sued for a botched operation. And then this whole divorce thing pops back up. Maybe it sent him over the edge.
Knowledgeable and familiar with the family and then the residents of the area, which ultimately led us to this day right now.
Do you believe that's it? Sorry. Go ahead.
We know digital forensics and DNA play a big role in investigations these days, but it doesn't happen in 60 minutes with commercial breaks. Is there any sense of the timeline of when some of that information will become available to you guys through that testing?
We're continuously looking for information, waiting for information. Unfortunately, we can't give you a specific timeline, but we're continuously working to get that information in.
The family mentioned that Monique previously said that he had been abusive towards her in the past. Was there any evidence or indication of that prior to this incident?
What I can tell you is that we did not have any reports, and we did not have any information related to any type of incidents regarding the ex-husband and
Well, Debbie's not going to like this one. You animal lovers are probably not going to like this one. There's reports coming in that he tortured a cat somewhere along his life. I don't know. You know, who knows? Maybe. They say that's how all this starts. Animals first, and they can't get enough. And they move on to humans. It's possible.
Monique.
Can you tell us if McKee and Mrs. Tepe had any contact leading up to this incident, months, weeks?
Any stalking concerns there?
Again, what we can share with you, we are sharing with you. There are some things that we can't share for investigative purposes, but what I can tell you again is that we didn't have any reports or anything linked to that specific location as it relates to the ex-husband and Monique Tepe.
Do you believe he's the person in the video that you shared, the person of interest?
We do.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you've been listening to an update from the city of Columbus, from the mayor and from Columbus Division of Police Chief Elaine Bryant. The big headline there is that they did find multiple weapons, they say, from in Chicago.
Right. And what we don't know are the kinds of weapons. That was something that Chief Bryant said that's still part of the investigation. But one thing that she did talk about is that one of the weapons that they obtained from that did come back in a NIBIN report. And that is the one that they believe could be tied to that. Now, the NIBIN system, that is the National Integrated Ballistic Information Network. That's been around now for almost 30 years.
And so they found that. The other point that we wanted to highlight is the issue of extradition, because as you know, as we've reported, and you were reporting this morning over by the corrections facility, they're talking about how and when they're going to bring McKee back.
Right. And as you heard there, we did how and when that could happen. The thing is, we still don't know the how. That was not an answer we did get today, but we did get some clarification on the process in which he would be back here. CPD has a a policy on how they transport felony assault charge or felony charged suspects in these cases. It sounds like this will likely be outsourced to a private transport company who will bring him back from Rockford, and that is when he would face charges here in
Good Lord, we'll probably be hearing on Ernie Shell's channel that he transported this guy. It just gets crazier. All right, ladies and gents, there you go. It's pretty much, I think that's the end of this video with the
in Franklin County, because Monday, when he appeared in that Winnebago County Circuit Court, that's when he waived his extradition, which means he will come back to face those charges in Franklin County. We are kind of in that holding pattern. We don't know when he'll get back. That's really the next step in all of this.
And in addition to what they could talk about in terms of the police, the other interesting fact is that the mayor of Columbus talked about the issue of solving these kinds of crimes. In fact, that there are 84 and that they spend 24 hours there working on all of these cases. And I was struck by the fact that he said tips mattered. This hearing from the community, that video that we were showing our viewers here on 10 TV Plus and on 10 TV of the person of interest.
Right. And when we talk about the tips and the video that came into play of this, of course, we know that video that Columbus Police released back on the 5th. That is what they really say played a big part in that. That's that car that they say was there before and after that call. They could see leaving in that video, and that is the car that they tracked all the way back to Rockford, Illinois.
All right, so we have covered the extradition. We're still waiting for some specifics on that. Perhaps you were unfamiliar with this, but they have extradition companies. That's who they're going to work with. Weapons, multiple weapons were taken from McKee's property. They are calling this a targeted attack, a domestic violence related attack. Lots of things to uncover as they are working this. We are going to continue to follow the TEPE murders and, of course, the extradition of Michael McKee, the suspect in this. And we will be doing that right here on 10 TV Plus and over on 10 TV. For Colin Dorsey, I'm Tracy Townsend. We now return you to regular programming here on 10 TV Plus.
Well, great news channel there, Channel 10. But, well, they got him, no doubt about it. How much evidence? Probably tons of it. Let's wait and see. How deep are they going to go in this investigation? How many years back? You got to wait for the phone data. Were any computers taken from his house, laptops, any other burner phones? We know that they got multiple weapons, many weapons probably. And now you got to run ballistics on them to track them to see if there's any other murders from them, weapons, numerous things. How many vehicles, any of his vehicles seen on camera anywhere? Yeah. Oh, what a word. It's just begun. It's just begun. And this is what these guys go through every single day, 24/7, is this investigating stuff. It's good God almighty. I'd be ripping my hair out what hair I got left. But this is what these guys do for a living. It's always good when citizens can help. You know why? Because that could have been our wife. That could have been our sister, our brother. That could have been our kids. It could have been anything. And I think it's a great job that all these citizens helped out. Not every call is going to be answered. I learned that the hard way. And sometimes making a call is more damaging and causes more trouble for yourself, depending on where you are or what the situation is. If things are corrupt, calling the authorities is your downfall. So we got a lot of work to do in America to keep our children safe, our wives, our husbands, our family members, society, friends, just our country, our world, whatever. So there you go, folks. We will be back with more on this as it unfolds. I imagine now there might be some quiet out there. You might hear a bunch of rumors in other videos started, and they'll dissect the whole thing and find out, depending on how far they go back. If they start backtracking to see what kind of arrest records he's got, did he have trouble in high school? Was he sacrificing animals? Miss Debbie Fox says red flag if you're torturing animals. Yeah, I probably would say so. That's how they say it starts. Yeah. Very horrible, but yeah. I think we're finally realizing that we refuse to believe our country is that bad. That we live around people that are that crazy. Or some kind of a demonic thing is in our country possessing people. But I'm starting to believe in the Lord. We can use a hand down here, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. Yeah, the sidewalk is gone. That's right. We're going to let it snow, Debbie. We got some snow coming tonight, I think, and tomorrow night or something, or tomorrow. So we'll be all right. It is starting to come down more. I think they're only calling for a half an inch today. We're around Lake Michigan. You know dang well it could snow 5 feet when they're calling for a half inch. So you know how the snow bands are. Once that snow band sets up, they could dump massive amounts quick. So, and I'm glad we need the water and we need to get back into a system stable where our winters are winter and our summers are summer. All right. Are there any questions? No. Once again, I want to thank Diary of a Defense. Oh, wait, no, wait. That's Diary of a Madman by Ozzy. Diary Defenses, I think it's called. Mr. Bob Motta's channel, Mrs. Bob Motta, for showing my question on their panel. And to most folks, it's not a big deal, but to me, hey, your question gets put up, and that's pretty good. I'm dumb, but all glory goes to God. If I ask anything smart. No, you folks have a great day. God bless. We'll be back with more info on this. You know what? There's a snowblower for sale for $100 or best offer down the street. Gas powered. If anyone's looking, if you're watching and you're in this area, you folks have a great day. I'll be back. Oh, thank Miss ATS News for stopping in. Thank Debbie Fox for stopping in, and the great RC for stopping in. And you folks be safe, and I'll be back. I'll be throwing out channels there that you folks should be watching that are good, peaceful channels and all that.